So here is 514, number 34 and 37. Okay, and so what we're given is, I'm going to leave just a lot of the work that's on here, but what we're given is we're given the 2/3, 12, 4, and the 1/5. And what we're going to do is try to figure out the rest of this generic rectangle. The gimme is, that's got to be a 3, right? 3 times 4 is 12. So once we know that 3, it's just a matter of figuring out the area at each box, right? So in this one, since we have a 3 on that left side, it's 3 times 1/5, right? And we always write a 3 as 3 over 1 times 1/5. So 3 times 1 is 3, and 1 times 5 is 5. So 3 over 1 times 1/5 is 3/5. Let's hang on to that one for just a little bit. This one, it's 4 times 2/3, because we had the 4 up above. Where is it? There we go. 4 times 2/3. And 4 times 2 is 8, and 1 times 3 is 3. So we have 8/3 here. Don't do 4 times 2 and 4 times 3. I see some students do that. Down here we have 2/3 times 1/5. 2 times 1 is 2, and 3 times 5 is 15. So what we have is we have all of these areas sitting right in here. So what we need to do is we need to add our whole numbers and add our fractions. Well, first thing I do is, I don't show it here, but I will show it right now. 8 and 2/3 is this, or not 8 and 2/3, 8/3, which is right here. How many 3's go in there? 2. How many are left over? 2. So 8/3 is 2 and 2/3, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together the 12 and the 2. Those are my whole numbers. I'm going to put them together with 2/3, 2/15, and 3/5. Now, something to note is that 2/15 in the lower right-hand corner, that 15 will always be your common denominator. So we're going to use the 2/3 and 3/5 to help us finish this, okay? So let's jump over here. There's the 12, 8/3, right, which I converted to 8/3, I converted to 2 and 2/3. I have 3/5 and 2/15. Whoops, so I have 12, 8/3, 3/15, 3/5, and 2/15. Now again, I converted that over here to the 2 and 2/3, 12, 3/5, and 2/15. I'm lining up my whole numbers, the 12 and the 2, and I line up my fractions. Now remember, I said 2/15 doesn't need to change, right? So I'm going to leave that one. And notice I'm changing the fractions of the 2/3 and the 3/5, right? 2 times 5 is 10, and 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 3 is 9, and 5 times 3 is 15. Now that they're all like denominators, I can add all 3 fractions, and I can add those whole numbers. So 12 plus 2 is 14. 10 plus 9 is 19, plus 2, that gives 21/15. So 14 and 21/15. But look at here, this 21/15 should go up, and I'm just tweaking the 21/15 here. 21/15 is 1 and 6/15. I also recognize that 6/15 I can divide both the 6 by 3 and 15 by 3. So I get 1 and 2/5, right? So, whoops, I was hoping to highlight. So 1 and 2/5 plus, right, remember the 1 and 2/5 is from there, plus the 14 will give me my final answer, right? So I got to go back over. Oh, I thought I had that there, but I don't. There we go. So it's the 14 plus the 1 and 2/5. 15 and 2/5, okay? And that's how we do that type of problem, okay? All right, 37. Richard's strategy for changing a percent to a decimal is to put the decimal point in front of a percent number. An example of his work is shown below. Do you agree with Richard's method? Okay, so when he sees 8%, he says, boy, if it's 8%, that's 0.8. If he sees 80%, it must be 0.8. And if he sees 800%, that must be 0.800, right? Well, the problem with this is that we have 0.8 and 0.80 and 0.800 are all the same decimals, right? All I'm doing is adding zeros in there, and that does not change the value of that decimal. So there's no way that each of those decimals are the exact same and give us the same percentages, right? That can't be the case. Because we know that this is what? 8 out of 100, 8%. This is 80%. And this one is 800%. Oops. And so that, you notice those yield different decimals in each case, right? This one would be 0.08. This would be 0.8, the actual one that we have there. And this would be 8.0 or 8 would be fine. Okay, all right. So I gave you enough information as do you agree with his method? And then I'm going to have you finish by explaining that. Okay, if you need anything else, please let me know.